So what do we got? Alberto's going to be sitting on the top of the stream screen, playing the blue checkers. Chris on the bottom playing the gold checkers. And 13-point match, normal time settings. Here at the Miami Open, the rules options that have been decided upon by the organizer and director is that there's no dice on checker and no legal moves. So that's the conditions that the players will be playing under. Of course, it's standard time settings, so 2 minutes per point and 12-second delay, so they're both starting with a 26-second bank. They want to play with the baffle box, so Tara is accommodating that request. We come well armed with all of the various equipment, and it's interesting because we're using the new ZMF tap and set clock here, so we add a little neoprene pad to the top of the clock. The pause button is actually just beneath the top surface, so we have a nice resting spot for the cube on top of the clock, and we put the neoprene pad there to keep it from slipping around, what have you. So we're off and running. 5-3 for Chris, so standard 3-point make. There's Showaki, and like I said, it's going to be, Chris can play deliberately and necessary. He certainly, is not what I would call a slow player, but he can play deliberately when necessary. And Showaki's going to play with a lot of pace, so that'll be what we see here. Set of fours, nice set of fours. Makes points on the blot on the 4-point, makes the 2-point, so you got a 3-point board automatically. 6-3, he can run. Again, don't look up. You'll miss Showaki's plays because he is known to play pretty quickly. Okay, so nice set of sixes from Chris. Comes out to the 18, I suspect. Yeah, and then he's going to make the deuce point. Oh, he makes the ace point, puts the checker up, so something to be said for that. 3-1 is a dance. So here we got perhaps our first decision of the game. There's a cube from Chris. He's, I got to think this is probably a take. No, he lets it go. It's kind of interesting. It's going to be, and we'll have to condition ourselves to watching. The logo has that sun on it, which in some measure mirrors the orange checkers that Chris is playing with. You might need to check them with the clock. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, how do you stop this clock?
Oh, wait, their checkers are set up wrong too. There's another checker. Where's the checker missing?
Oh, right down here.
Oh, Alberto's got one in his hand.
No. It's
There it is.
Okay. So either one of the, if you see the little lines, that means it's on pause. So either one of the plungers takes it off pause.
So the button's down.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, hello, Vinny. Thank you for the kind words. I don't know. Jason Briggs is going to be here. Of course, he lives here in the Miami area, so he's going to be here during the tournament. So we'll quiz him as to when some of these Chrysloid products will be available. Okay, now this time Chris gets the set of fours. Lays it down. Four, 1. Okay.
No good.
One must not have gone to the baffle box. Okay. Chris got a decision to make. Going to put 2 up. His other alternative was to make the bar. But something to be said for 2 checkers up. Okay, once you slot the ace, oftentimes people will you go ahead and make the ace. So that he does. Chris has 5-4 to play. So what does he do here? He went to the deuce. 3-2. Four, 3. Okay, Chris has got a little awkwardness here. He can make 2 points. He can make the 4 and the deuce and clean it up. See if Alberto gets unfortunate. Has to leave it a shot. He doesn't. He has to play the 2-point. But Chris makes the awkward roll. You will notice during the course of the tournament, the director organizer Avi Cohen, he acquired and has 100 Miami Open boards, which look similar to this Chrysloid board. They're not Chrysloid boards, but he had 100 boards made specifically for the tournament. So going forward in future years, he'll be supplying all the boards, and you won't have a need to take your board to the Miami Open, and that's fairly common in Europe, but we haven't really seen it in the States to date. Bring me a chocolate drink, and this is not one Coke. Okay, very good. We're conversing with Tara a little bit. We're, first match out of the gate here. We takes a little refinement, I guess you would say. Okay, so here we go. Now this is kind of interesting. Alberto has a 4-point board, but Chris is counting this. He's got some play. I'm with Vinny. My first initial reaction is to take this. And that's one thing you'll note. And look, there behind Showaki is Nevzat Dogan, who's a good friend of his and a good friend of all of ours. Nevzat's former world champion, lives in Denmark, from Turkey originally. And Chris does take that. Nice set of 5s. Yeah, he'll go on to the 3. So he's that cured a lot of the potential L's that were in his. Now, what's he got? He can hit on the 5. Other than that, he's got to really get ugly with playing off the 8 and the 4. So he goes for the really getting ugly play. Chris having a 5-point board, it might well be the, something that Alberto doesn't want to mix it up with. Okay, there he goes. That's probably correct. Keep the blot on the 4 with the hopes of remaking that 4 at some point. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, set of 4s now. What does he do with that? Okay, he, again, doesn't want any part of that 5.5-point board Chris has got. If he can avoid it, Chris will keep that checker back and see if, Alberto can roll, 6-1, 6-2, 6-4, 5-1. A number of blotting numbers there. So I suspect he's got to stay back on this. What's he played? He's played 2 3s. I think he's far enough behind that he'll stay back. And there's a number of blotting numbers here. 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. No, 6-1, 6-2, 6-4. What else did I say? 5-1. So that 8 numbers immediately obvious. So let's see what happens. Again, it's pretty interesting, and for the first time, I started to comment a bit ago, and again, I think Chris, extremely experienced player. He's not going to get rattled or anything, but he had been playing, kind of matching Alberto's pace, and now he really reached a critical decision and decides to give it the appropriate consideration and spend a bit of time on that. So Alberto, pardon me, looks like he'll likely win 2 points here. So this will be good. A 13-point match. They'll both be on the scoreboard. So settle into a good match. Now, on average, for scheduling purposes, directors typically use 11 minutes per point for the average match. So a 13-point match would typically average 144? So about 2.5 hours. So settle in for what is likely a pretty extended match here. Put the cube back in the middle. He does. And here we go. 2-1 Alberto. Standard split. 6-2. Standard hit from there. Whoop. Nice set of 5s. Now he's going to make does he make the 3 or does he come around? Yeah, he makes the 3. And of course, keeps the spare on the 8 by coming off the mid for the second checker. Okay, set of 3s is nice. Now, does he make the 5? He does. Alberto has no defense over there with only still just the 6 point in his home board. Okay, now here, Chris is going to contemplate this. Rolls on. 4-3, nice. Now he's got to play on in all likelihood, unless Alberto was to come in. Now Chris is not going to play on. He's just going to cash. And 2-2. So that was quick. Yeah, Vinny, at some of the, particularly the tournaments that Fuad Erdog organizes in Turkey and Middle East there, they use a minute and a half per point in 12-second delay, and quite a number of people like that. I personally have no problem with it, and for very large tournaments, which some of Fuad's tournaments are, the Stadler tournament in Istanbul, as an example, they have 600 players or something like that. So having a somewhat accelerated time controls can really make a difference over a long weekend with 600 players. 6-1. So now, okay, he comes out. Now Chris has got another decision before him. Got certainly a structural advantage, positional advantage, but he's got 3 checkers back as well. So he just doesn't have much, if any, of a racing lead. 2-3, he's going to safety. He comes around. I thought he might step up there to put a little, and okay. 4-3, so obvious plays with a, other than the one black pack, he wants to play with a single black. Otherwise, Chris once again pondering, got quite a strong position, but again, he's got That's 3 checkers back, so he's going to have to get one of those moving if at all possible. But I would not be surprised to see Chris send this. Now it's on to Chris. Chris is familiar with Alberto Showaki. I presume they played before. I don't recall a specific circumstance, but certainly online, if not live. But Chris, of course, was in San Antonio where Alberto won the Super Jackpot this year, and Chris was in Chicago where Alberto won the championship division this year. So there's a very decent likelihood they've crossed paths over the board. Okay, Chris decides to play on. Now he really wants to get one of those checkers moving. Now does he run it, take it on out? No, he's going to maybe try to seize the 5-point there. Kind of bit of an ugly roll. I think he's going to make the deuce point. I might have made the 9 and slotted the deuce, but okay, now Chris with one checker moving again, certainly a double opportunity, and he sends it that way, takes it. Wow, nice hit. Dance. Alberto's got to be careful here. 4-1. You make the 5 and maybe come to the 7. Make the or the 20 in this instance. Make the 20. Kind of gives you a bit of a cushion against any attack on the other side, and play 8-7. So is how Chris sees it as well. So he enters and hits. Showaki does. Chris and Showaki needs to double 3. One down. He could have made the bar, but he doesn't want to play with blotch and add to Chris's collection behind that 5 prime. Now Chris, this could be interesting. He could make the deuce, or he could run out to the 16 as he did do here. Makes the point rather than take the hit on the other side. Not completely certain about that. I would have, had that point that he made been on the front edge of that 6 prime rather than one offset, and it would have been the obvious play. And through much of the weekend, just as an aside here, we're going to be one of the main sponsors of the tournament is Legacy Boards. So we're going to be playing on some absolutely stunningly beautiful wooden boards that are made from actual, I guess, I don't know what the right term would be, slices of tree trunks, and often with live edges, which are the, has the bark on it, has the irregular shape that might have, occurred with the tree trunk, and just some beautiful, beautiful products. Makes them both in a board tables, which are, a standalone board table, and also makes table boards. So we'll be showing some of Bill Shea's work. Those are made in North Carolina by a gentleman by the name of Bill Shea. He's here for the week. He has probably 30 boards on display. Now, does Chris could break the 8, could break the 7 and try a little trap play here, but I don't think you necessarily want to trap with Alberto's having a 5-point board. You'd rather him, let him crack another point first. Okay, but Chris is going to go with the trap play. Oh, nice selection of which one to have broken. 4-1. 3, so there Alberto's just cracked, and Chris is pretty free to play as he may. There's a 5 to run, and Chris has still got 3 builders working on that deuce point, and 2 of them make the deuce point. So some limited number of gammons out there, but not a high probability. So Alberto hopes to escape with only giving up 2 points. So this kind of plays out itself there, and there Alberto enters relatively quickly, so he should really have no problem in beating this. So we'll be at 4-2 Chris Trencher. Alberto's not going to go down without a fight. Of course, that only takes 2 off, but consolidates a lot of the other checkers. There's 4 more off, so that's that. And 4-2 Chris Trencher. Yeah, you know, and I haven't looked at that board closely, but Vinny, you're kind of right. You know, we put a non-skid pad on the top of the clock for the cube, but it seems as though that wooden plate or whatever that construction is there, and again, I haven't taken a good look at it, but it seems to be, you know, the clock itself is tending to skid, where we cured by the neoprene pad any concerns about the cube, but the clock itself is moving around a fair amount. It's some of the new, one of the new ZMF tap and set clocks. They're really neat clocks. Again, the pause button is underneath the top surface, so you know, you can put a cube on the top. The clocks are very lightweight. They you can set them with an app off of your phone. So really, a lot of people, we've sold a ton of those. A lot of people really like those clocks. Thank you, ma'am. I guess it's that construction there, that clock's slipping around quite a bit. I don't know what it's sitting on. The clock itself is moving quite a bit. I don't know what that wooden piece is there that it's sitting on. Well, I know it is, but is it up flush with the... Okay. Anyway, maybe it's just the way they're hitting it, but the clock's moved. They've had to reposition the clock a dozen times, I imagine. So, yeah. Yeah. As you can see, Tar laughs about it. We, in a lot of these stream matches, you know, this time the clock's moving around a fair amount. Usually these players are really, you know, moving their scoreboards all over the place, and sometimes they end up working their way out of the field of view. And so you can see here she's taped the scoreboard down so they can't push it around. Yeah, well, I've talked about how, you know, time will not be a problem with Alberto Showaki. Okay, Chris, nice set of sixes. Many permutations there. He's set up to make the 4-point, but Felix Goigman. Hello, Felix. Good to have you joining us. There's another 4-6. That's Chris's 4-6. How's he going to make the 4-point? Does it that way. Brings that checker in. So once again, and this time, you know, in the last game, Showaki never was in much danger of getting gammoned on the 2 cube. This time he's in a considerable damage of getting gammoned, and actually there's probably almost as much chance of him getting backgammoned in this game as there was of him getting gammoned in the prior game. But let's see what happens. Okay, wants to ensure that his play doesn't result in any blotting large doublets. Couldn't do it because this double fives does blot. Okay. There it is. That's what you call ambient noise, isn't it? 'Cause there's an air conditioner in this segment of the room that's really quite loud when it cranks up, so we don't have to worry about the guys overhearing the commentary in any way, particularly when that thing's going on. No, no one's mentioned making the Chrysaloid point yet. So, yeah, I'm trying to decide whether to make the ace point or the Chrysaloid point. Or in Chris's case, the 11 point, or the 10 point, or the Chrysaloid point, which is the 11. Okay, so Alberto gives up 4 on that one. And we've got, again, 2 matches waiting in the wings, as it were. Mochi's going to be playing Malcolm Hudson. Malcolm's in the BMAB and has to finish his 5th match. And Joe Urso will be playing Kimon Papachristopoulos. Urso is undefeated playing his 5th BMAB match, so he may well win that. So, if this match finishes fairly quickly, then whichever of those 2 matches, Hudson or Urso, whichever one of them finishes first, we would put their match here on stream 1. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear as the matches continue and conclude. Nevzat wants the Mochi match on 1, or what? Oh, he wants to see it. Yeah. Well, we were trying to set it up so that we showed 2 mega jackpot matches and 1 super jackpot match, but the pairings in the super jackpot were just not. There's some great players in there, but none of them were particularly paired with each other in the first round. So we went with. We did have 3 really nice pairings here in the mega jackpot. So we went with the 3 mega jackpot matches. And look at these boys. Put the cube next to the clock rather than up in the nice little neoprene pad on the top of the clock. We can take them to water, but we can't make them drink. Oh, Tara's talking about, she's got some new mics. Actually, I'm using a pro level wireless mic right now, and apparently it's pretty much dynamite from her talking. I'm talking very softly here so that she says it's 2 levels below a Justin Timberlake Super Bowl performance mic. I don't know. So anyway, I'm talking relatively softly here, and she assures me the sound is superb. Okay, so Alberto. Oh, Chris rolls a 5. Alberto was about ready to try to make a blitz type of move on Chris, but Chris was able to enter 4-1. Now this is going to be interesting. I think Chris probably runs with that. Here again, as we can see, Chris is deliberate when necessary in critical situations, but of course he's burned 6.5 minutes in this match, and Alberto's burned 13 seconds. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. Chris, 6-2 to play. He could point on that 2-point. He could make the bar point. I'm not sure, and I don't think Chris is sure. So that's one option, and then of course gives you a 3-point board, although with the 3 and 4 points void. You're right, Steve. I guess that's Steve Reichelt. And the only time he burned a little bit of time was when he was screwing around with the clock a little bit. So, but I mean, this is those of you who were listening at the beginning of the match might have heard. I mean, Alberto is not known for wasting any time. I play him occasionally on Galaxy, and of course speed settings, which most of us play on just because it's not as boring as the other settings. And, same experience there. Alberto does not, even at speed settings, use any time. Okay. Okay. 3-1, so I guess he got a hit. Doesn't have another ace. Doesn't want to break that broken 5-point board. Now here Alberto can make the 18-point or hit as he decides to do. Okay. Three, 6. This is kind of interesting. They both got it's kind of a standoff game of some sort. Okay, Showaki says, I think I've got the advantage here. Let's go for it. And he rolls a 2-1, which makes the 5-point, but leaves that 2 checkers exposed, and one of them gets hit. Now what's he do with the ace? Plays 6-5. That's a nice dancing number. Okay, Chris gets ready to moves the spare up to the front edge of the 5 prime so that he can escape with a 6. That's a second dancing double 6 in a row for Alberto. Chris needs a 6 to get those back checkers moving and hasn't had any success at that to date. Double dribbles die off the off the floor. There's the 6 he needed, and it hits as well. So that's the best of both worlds. Alberto okay. Okay, so Alberto is in, well, that's a nice 6, which keeps him from having to collapse any further over there. 6-3 by Trencher comes out and hits, so nice roll, and it's 3, so nice pointing 5-2. So this, as of the last 2 games, does not look very promising for Alberto Showaki, and this time Chris is holding Alberto's cube. The last 2 games, Chris had doubled Showaki and he got gammoned. This time he sent the cube and he may get gammoned again. So it hasn't been a good stretch for Alberto Showaki. Okay. And that's a nice play. He tries to, and that's, from his perspective, a nice roll. Whoa, looky here. Not too. Now, Chris dances again. Showaki needs a 5. One. Chris hits the blot. I'm seeing in the background Roberto Lichtenberger talking to some people. There's a couple of BMAB matches being played on this side of the air wall in this room. The remainder of the BMAB matches are being played over on the other side of the air wall in the streaming area proper. Oh, Avi. Come sit down, man. Look here, we're joined by Avi Cohen, I don't know what we're going to call you, producer, organizer, jack of all trades on this tournament. And congratulations, man. This is a treat. I think you've done a world-class job in promotion. And, I think everybody are in for a treat this week. And we hope all of our viewers enjoyed as well. So, Tell us what you made.
Well, this is a dream coming true. This is a season that I had for about 2 years. Just get her around, not only Americans, but like total worldwide known players, and just make it a big party here in Miami Beach. And without our sponsors, really, and donators, this wouldn't be happening. There's so many to thank. P40, Marijuana Doctor, which is a great sponsor of us, Main Event, Galaxy Board, also, and Legacy Boards, of course, the Main Event. So many, which we're going to thank each and every one of them, ceremony. Awards.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, and we're just getting started today.
Yep.
And, but we're off to a grand start, and we got some great matches here. And as Avi was talking about, there's quite a few international players, including a lot of South American players, which is really kind of I mean, you got Peruvians,
we got
Brazilians, Argentinians,
groups of people that came from South America and Europe, and it's just like I said, this is what.
Well, you look here, these first 3 matches that we're streaming.
Okay.
We got Showaki, who's from Mexico, originally living in Miami
friend,
now.
Of course, yes.
We've got Malcolm Hudson's going to be playing Mochi, so that's Australia and Japan.
Wow. And
then we have Joe Urso playing Kimon Papachristopoulos, and Kimon's German. So
this is it. That's what I wanted.
There it is, man.
That's it. It's perfect.
So this is this is really neat, and we appreciate the opportunity to participate in this.
Thank you. And I will jump here from time and time. You know, I got to run around and make sure that everybody.
Yeah, everybody wants a piece of you.
But yeah, again, without all our sponsors, this world-class event would not have been happening.
Well, and you've got
thank everybody.
a staff such as Arda is the director.
Yes. And we'll talk about it. I'll jump
some of those.
in and out.
We'll
talk about it
anytime. Just jump in here. So,
and of course, our great, streaming team, best in the world, Bill and Tara. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you much.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, Avi. Thanks
Stay
for
tuned, everybody. We're gonna link. What do we have? 3 stations.
3 streaming
constantly.
So for the next 4 or 5 days.
Stay tuned. It's just gonna be fun.
And it's some strong fields, so you're gonna see some great matches.
Excellent. See you soon, guys.
Okay, Avi. Thank you so much. Okay. Avi Cohen. And I can relate totally, as many of us do that run tournaments ourselves and so forth. People just can't imagine how much work goes into putting on an event like this. And in Avi's case, obviously this is it's a new event. It's his first time producing and organizing a tournament, and wow, he's done a great job, and kudos to him. And this is going to be a great stop, I think, going forward on the ABT tour. And he's not only trying to do a lot of things that we're accustomed to seeing on the ABT tour, but he's trying to incorporate some of the best of his experiences and all of our experiences with some of the European tournaments and so forth. So this is fun. Okay, so Ian Terry's in the house, and of course he says, what a pairing, and this is quite a pairing. Showaki has had a great year. He won the Super Jackpot in San Antonio. He won the championship division in Chicago. So, Chris Trencher is a match for anyone. So, Alberto's found himself in a pretty significant hole here, but he's got a lot of time to work with. So, if he gets a rally going, he won't find himself in any time trouble. Okay, so he's got to come out with the 2, maintain the 5-point board in front of Chris's 2 rear checkers. There's a 6 to come out, but this is going to be interesting. Okay, so Chris isn't going to come out because that would have just been automatic attack by Alberto. Now Chris will be forced to run with a 6, but he doesn't roll the 6. Alberto would like to, 6-5 will come around to the 7. So again, if Chris rolls a 6, he'll be under attack. There's a 6, and Alberto will hit him with anything that will hit him, and nothing hits him. Now, he might have been tempted, and I don't think it was the right play, but these are the sorts of plays at times where, you double, your banana split might have come into play if Chris had had a significant opportunity to escape that back checker, but he didn't. But now Alberto again has, he's forced to attack. He didn't roll a pointing number. Now he does. So 1 checker back. Not a lot of gammons, but some gammons out there. And Alberto would like to close the gap a bit. Now he clears a 6 rather than taking 2 off the 5, but the ace point was open as well, so this was perhaps the better point of valor. Chris immediately rolls a set of 5s, and Alberto should bring this home, but for 2 points rather than the 4 that he might have fancied. Okay, so Alberto should. Chris has got a number of checkers stacked on the 2. I'm not sure exactly how many, but now we'll know how many. And rolls a set of 5. Okay, so, another set, and look where we're at. Okay, so too little, too late. 10-4, so Alberto has stopped a considerable streak of bleeding there and gotten back into the match a bit. And I'll tease Tara that, are you sure that clock's working? Alberto's been on 25:47 for about a half an hour. And as Steve Reichelt said, the only 13 seconds that Alberto burned was when he was messing around with the clock early on. Wasn't quite sure where the pause button was or something. So, but, that's interesting. I mean, that's his style of play. He plays extremely well. And, if he's comfortable with it, that's all that matters. And he's had a stellar year to this point. And it's funny. I mean, of the 2 matches we have coming up after this, one of them involves Mochi. And, there we'll see the complete opposite style. And that, and it's not faulting anyone, but Mochi likes to use his time and tries to make the very best play at all costs on every roll. And he typically ends up in time trouble, and certainly he can play better than most with no time. But so it's contrasting styles. You see that Alberto Showaki never lets a die settle hardly, and you get somebody like Mochi that doesn't want to end a match with more than 10 seconds on his clock. So it's all a matter of personal style and comfort level and how you like to play and what have you. Okay, so Chris comes in, and Alberto's going to attack here. Pretty much got to hit. He's going to play 8-5, I suspect. No, he's going to do it this way. I would have thought he would have hit. No problem. No problem. So, okay, so we were trying to get trying to build our viewers up a little bit. Don't have many likes yet, so y'all be sure and hit that like button, which serves everyone in the backgammon community well for search algorithms and what have you. So, we're off and running with the first Miami Open. Good match here, and then 2 great matches to follow. There's Alberto trailing by 6. He pushes the envelope a little. Chris doesn't want to, obviously he's going to be under attack, and Alberto had a reasonably strong position, so Chris says, I'll let that go. Okay, Alberto is just it's full speed ahead here. Chris is making some nice rolls to stymie Alberto's attacks here. And he makes the 4, which will keep Chris from doing much. You know, we were talking about time philosophies and time control and different players playing different ways. It's interesting. One of my favorite quotes from a year and a half ago or so when I did the match at Monte Carlo, commentating with Sebastian Wilkins, and it's the Victor and Chris Rogers match. Sebastian made the point that he, hey, look who's rolling in here now. No, sit down. You want to change shirts first? Yeah, I saw that. Hello, Don. Here's Mr. Rory Pascar himself. Welcome to Miami.
I'm dressed the part, right?
No comment. No comment.
I feel the Miami feel. The Miami heat, as they say.
Yeah.
How's this match going? Oh, it looks like
It's
Chris has got it in hand.
Going all Chris's way, and you know, as I was laughing with them, you know, Showaki hardly lets the dice ever come to a stop.
Yeah, he's not a slow player. No one will ever accuse him of playing slow.
He's used 15 seconds, and about 13 of that was on the first roll when he couldn't find the pause button on the clock. You know,
26-point match, 25-45. Calculate that, doing a deep level analysis to 15 seconds. Is that what you did a second ago? Yeah, so how's he playing otherwise, you think?
He's playing reasonably well. And you know, really, I mean, Chris is a hell of a strong player.
Of course.
And he's playing strong.
Oh,
but he's
he knew
also
not to go.
He's also got.
He knew not to leave that 9 shot.
He's also been rolling pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not a good combination if you're Showaki. You know, Chris playing Chris, who's playing strong, and Chris is rolling well, and it's tough. But Showaki, he's been there. He's won
have you talked about that at all?
I did. He won the Super Jackpot in San Antonio this year, and then he won your.
And then he won the Chicago Open. I think he lost.
And you had what, 99 or
100
even? Okay,
players
in the championship. So a big field, strong field.
Yeah.
And
I think he lost his either first or second match, and then won like 11 in a row.
Yeah,
and 10 in a row.
I mean, that is awesome. Not easy.
No.
And a big, strong field.
Major kudos to him for that achievement. And I don't know if I had ever met him actually before the Chicago Open, before he showed up.
Well, you probably saw him. You might
possibly
not have met him. He's been in San Antonio the last couple of years, and he beat
nice
Kit Woolsey in the finals of the Super Jackpot this year. Nothing. No accomplishment
just Kit
there.
Woolsey. I mean, come on, who hasn't done that? The legend that is Kit Woolsey. It's kind of an awkward 6-2. You got to take the spare off the 8, so you have so many fewer numbers to point.
Now, Chris is not going to be excited about hitting loose on this thing with that 5.5 point board over there. So he's just got to. He's got to
be bringing 2 in actually.
Perhaps so, because he's well behind in the race without.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Alberto says, I'm running. I'm running while the running's good.
Put him on points that aren't. I'm going to the 4 point though. I'm not going to the
3.
3, yeah.
There's as many of you know, it's beyond art. It's science in the bearing in and the distribution checkers.
And you play the double sixes just like he did. That was perfect. High level analysis right there for you. But
the double six play.
yeah, forced double six. So I actually wasn't sure I was going to come to this tournament. I was actually thinking I wouldn't be. It's been a busy year. I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of tournaments, and Avi has been to my tournaments. I know him quite well. Really nice guy, but it just seemed like he was trying to do more than anyone could possibly do.
Particularly a first time.
Yeah, I mean, Bill and I have been doing this 15-ish years or so, and here comes Avi in his very first year, and literally he's trying to do everything, which is just not really practical. But at the same time, everyone is showing up. There's going to be close to 200 people, if not more than 200 people here this weekend. And it's his first ever tournament. I've been running Chicago for 14 years, and I'm still... I hit 181 this year, which is my all-time record. I was ecstatic. Man, he doesn't deserve to have 200 people, but I love him, and I congratulate him, and I've done everything I can to give him a call every once in a while and offer some advice, and he's called me asking for some advice. I don't see other tournaments and tournament directors as competition. I really don't.
Well, you know, he's done a masterful job of promotion.
Yeah, he has done some of the best backgammon promotion I've ever seen, especially for a first-time tournament. I mean,
a lot of social media with video input or content.
Yes.
Just very good. Great.
Major kudos to Avi for everything he's done putting this together this weekend. I am thoroughly impressed, and just can't say enough about what he's done. It is.
And it's a great new event on the American
Absolutely.
Tour. And I was telling people earlier that, and I think you'll second this. I mean, not only is he doing, everything you expect at all the American tournaments, he's trying to
double two here.
He's trying to incorporate some European flavor into it too, and bring some of the
Arda and Presser. And unfortunately, I don't know if you guys heard, but Presser has got a back issue and he is not able to make it this weekend, which is a big bummer. He's definitely one of the main reasons why I did want to come. I'm a huge David Presser fan.
So we wish David the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick recovery. Hopefully, this isn't something that lingers.
But I saw Avi doing an interview with Alex Showaki the other day, and he's talking about trying to put everything into it. He said, I love side events. I want to have every side event I can think of. I got more side events than any tournament in the world. And I also love rebuys. So every event has rebuys. And I'm thinking, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. He's never done it before. He doesn't know what the hell he's thinking. And he's just doing it anyways. And like I said, I'm cheering for him. I hope this weekend is a huge success.
And he's thrown in some new twists with the Tovley event.
Yep.
The
TBT.
The non-cube play, which is the traditional Middle Eastern and Mediterranean basin style.
Yep.
And, he's got a youth event. So a number of little twists like that.
I don't know if you noticed, but Hannah is sitting to our right. Are you familiar with Hannah?
I do know Hannah.
You do know her. Hey, Hannah. How are you?
Hannah DeRosier sitting over there on the other side of Rory.
The world-famous Hannah DeRosier.
That's right.
There she is. Good. Yeah, Mama.
So,
I mean, this is a special tournament, and
let's explain the pairings. I mean, we got a great pairing here now. It's gone Chris's way a little bit, but that's not to me and Alberto Showaki in any event. That happens to any of us at any time. But then we got two matches in the wings. Yep. Malcolm Hudson and Mochi that are going to be starting here soon, and Joe Urso and Kamon Papatristopoulos. And Malcolm was telling me, in Dubai 5-6 weeks ago, whatever it was, he beat Mochi in the Super Jackpot final. So he was saying he's sure Mochi would like to get a little revenge.
Sure. No doubt. I haven't seen Mochi in a while. It was nice to see him. When I do see him at a tournament, I bring something from Chicago, the Garrett's popcorn, which is a famous thing Chicago is known for. And
some kudos to Mochi. David Presser was supposed to do that boot camp here.
Oh, and Mochi's taking it over?
And Mochi took it over. And
I think he's qualified.
I think he's qualified.
I mean, it's a question mark, but I if you had to pick somebody, I guess he could be, top
when I was
10,
laughing, I
list.
told him Monday, I guess, when I saw him, I said, well, hey, congratulations, that's really nice for you to step in. And he said, well, Avi and Arda really didn't give me a choice. And I said, well, regardless, you did it.
That double six could have been horrible, but he only had to play one of them.
Oh, look here. Here's 4-5 now.
But yeah,
Showaki's going to keep that 1-2 for another roll or so.
he probably has two
Chris,
more rolls, but
Chris could get into trouble here.
Yep.
2-1.
That's a nice
That's
roll.
a nice roll. He needed that
Now
timing.
he's looking for a combination to save. What is he thinking about? Yeah, no, there was nothing else. Looking to save both those checkers.
Ooh.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's a cruncher. So not
Break
as
that
bad as
5
it
point.
might have been.
No dead checkers yet, but they could be coming right now. Nope.
No
no
he's
dead
gone,
checkers.
But
Now he's afraid of getting.
Chris,
yep,
whoa.
he gets pointed on here, and I'm just gonna bring a checker in. Give him the 2-6. Get that last checker in, and get started on your
do
bear
you
off.
do that?
Absolutely. I told. Is that Chris? I think that's a mistake. But it is Chris Trencher, so maybe I'm the silly one. But generally, it's always right to leave 2 shots from the bar when
And
you're trying to clear and to
clear
take in
the
one
last
guy's on the bar. Right. So I was actually quite surprised he didn't leave those shots. And it's not like he has the gammon in the bag. He needs to get on his horse to get this one. So
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that was a small mistake by Chris.
Okay. Now, Chris might he not? Might he cash this?
Yeah, he doesn't have that many gammons. But at the same time, how bad would double 4s play?
You're thinking, right?
For blue.
Yeah.
White's on yellow's on roll, orange is on roll. So he's probably clearing that 6 point. If he can, he sure as hell will. So I tend to think he's still too good, but this very well could be a cube. This is not the best part of my game for sure.
And Showaki is 8 away. So
yeah, the
Chris
cube,
doesn't risk.
The,
I mean, even
the
if he
cube is
risks
on
it,
4. If the cube is on 2, it's
a
on
different
4.
story.
No. If the cube is on 2, it's on 4 because there is no. He's
Correct,
obviously immediately reshipping.
But
So
that's the extent of how it's going to get. Now, were it a recube, then Chris would probably not do it because it might get to 8.
Sure.
But
Yeah. Well, 100% wouldn't be a recube here.
right.
And I just don't know. I'm not a magic man with the numbers. I would have held the cube there.
Yeah, most people at 2 away, it's got to be.
Oh,
some
I like this.
special
I like this play by
circumstances.
Showaki. Oh,
Whoa.
Chris likes this play too.
Yeah.
Oh, and now the
Uh-oh.
gammon is
Now Alberto is
only got one off.
off 1.
Looking to get in.
Okay,
That should save it.
He saved.
So we're
that.
going to Crawford. Well, my wife is here. She joined me for at least for a couple days this weekend, and so I'm gonna go hang out with her, and maybe we just had dinner and say hi to a few
Where'd
more
you go to
people, and
dinner?
then the Peruvian place.
I've heard of it. I haven't been
Greg
there.
Merriman had suggested it.
Have you been to there's a couple blocks down
I
in
just got
Collins
here,
here
so
at the this place called La Cabrera, an Argentinian steakhouse.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
I like Argentina.
Unbelievable. And even Roberto and Irina.
Yeah,
I told them where we went. And they said, "Oh, that's the best," So,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that will be tomorrow night then.
very, very good.
So I'm gonna take off. I will be around this weekend though as a player, and maybe I'll join my man Bill here on commentary.
We'll do
sometime this
that. I
weekend.
mean, I'm sure you'd rather me be commentating on your matches if you were.
Yeah, that's the plan.
If you're doing well.
Yeah.
But
That,
that's the preferred mode.
yeah. Unfortunately, back in September, I didn't have much time for commentary when I was at the Viking, and I'd like to have that same problem this weekend.
There you go. Okay.
Take care,
man.
folks. Have a
Thanks
great
for
one.
Stopping by. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate all your work.
And hello, Dawn. Good to see you. Okay, so Rory Pascar here from Chicago, lending his support to Avi's tournament here in Miami. So, okay, Crawford game. So this cube is out of play. Okay, so oh, nice ace. Chris going to step up. I think he's got to. Could make the bar for 7, yeah, but I'm tempted to step up and see if I can force the play, but Chris makes the bar, and I'll defer to him every time over my own capabilities. They let you into a Peruvian restaurant wearing that? No, I'm talking to you. That's true. Oh, I see. Okay, so Alberto's still trying to force the issue, and a nice, from his perspective, dance by Chris. Now this would be the best of all worlds if Alberto could gammon Chris on a Crawford game from even number away. But let's see what happens. Is he going to play 5 and 6? What are you looking at? That's his initial reaction. He could play to 7 and 13, or 7-11. I mean, sorry. And again, and then it goes back to right where I was talking about early in the match. You can see here we are at 12-5, so we probably played, 17, probably 10 games at least. Chris is at 9:49, and Alberto has still only burned 15 seconds. Okay, so he's going for the gusto here. Chris does not oblige him with a dance. Oh, okay, the Sebastian Wilkinson story. Yeah, I forgot. That's when I guess Rory showed up, or maybe that was when Avi showed up. But Sebastian was talking about how he likes to get his clock down and play with very little time. He said, if I'm playing with, effectively with no time, I can't sell myself on something stupid. I just have to play instinctively or so forth. If I have too much time, I might talk myself into something stupid. So I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, now Mr. Alberto needs a 6. He gets a 6. 6-3, plays well. Okay. Gets hit, but set of 3s, that's not good. That's what we call crunching. So this is going to be difficult for Alberto to win with his crunched board, 3 back. Pretty much the only way you can win it's a race. Joe, how's your match going? Joe lost. So yeah, Tara will This very likely could end right here. Yeah. Yeah, if you can track him down. I don't know. Yeah, tell Tara that you're finished. Okay, so so this is going to be curtains at 13-5. Chris Trencher, nice win for him. Chris is a very strong player. Draws a tough opponent in the first round in Alberto Showaki and manages to bring it home. So congrats, and I'm maybe counting my chickens before they hatch here, but congrats to Chris Trencher. So it looks as though, and we had 2 matches available, and it looks as though, Urso's match is ready, provided we can track down Timon Topochristopoulos. And so that may well follow up here on stream 1. I told Joe to talk to Tara, let her know that his match is over and that he can try to track Timon down. So